Hello, hello, and welcome to the weekend Friday. That's right, with B&T Sports Talk Show. Today is all about pickup dummies. If this is your first time hopping on, please like, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. We much appreciate it, or do all three. But it's been a busy weekend for us both. As y'all know, we are 9 to 5ers. We are not people sitting in our rooms with nothing to do. We actually have jobs and shit to do. So,
families to raise
exactly, that's right.
for you.
That's right. Got kids running, jumping, doing cartwheels, backflips. You know what I'm talking about? So I just,
No one knows what you're talking about.
well, that's what they do.
I
That's
like
what they
it
do. When
though.
you're not looking, 6-year-olds do backflips and they jump on couch. Anyway, so yeah, B, what's up, man?
Man, life is good. Hate all Niner fans right now and the whole organization, but I'm happy
Oh,
for an
we'll
individual we'll
get to
talk
that.
about a little later on.
We will get to that.
Yeah, but it's the weekend. We got Black Adam coming out this weekend. We were talking about that a little bit before we got on air.
Yeah,
So it'll
I'm
be
excited. The Rock,
gonna be an exciting weekend.
ready to see The Rock throw the smackdown on some F-16 fire jets or whatever he was
I
doing.
tell you this though, if he does a wrestling move
Oh,
in this movie, I'm over it.
look, I'm pretty sure
I'm
the
over it.
eyebrows coming out at some point. It's got
That's
to.
fine. The eyebrows
Eyebrows
can
got to
come out,
come out.
but
He's got to do this thing, or I can't even do it right, but he can do the eyebrow, and I'm pretty sure it's unavoidable, man. It's gonna happen. Well,
oh
anyway,
boy.
now
But if he does a rock bottom or a people's elbow, I'm walking out of the movie theater 100%.
like that.
That should not be a superpower move at all, sir.
Oh, why not, man? Why? Bring it back. Bring it back.
No,
Run it back.
no, we're
Oh
good.
man. All right. Well, we'll be. As everyone knows, we have been quite the. We've been quite the pick'em dummies here, and I may have to get rid of the dummy part of it because we've been doing pretty damn good.
We pick them experts. It's the guests that are the dummies. They one for
Hey,
eight right
no,
now.
and by the way, guests, we love you, so don't take that the wrong way. It's just, unfortunately, the guests have not done so well. They're 1-6. Am I right? 1-7.
1-8.
One
They
and
are one and
eight. One and
eight.
eight. 1-8. So it's just us two geniuses over here making picks, and so we're back at it again. Hopefully, making somebody some money because it's not me. And get y'all some more picks to go with this week, and continue to call ourselves geniuses. I think I even texted you B at one point during Sunday last week
You
to
did.
say
You
that I
did.
felt like a genius after the Green Bay and Giants game. I felt great. I felt great. Except I didn't have no
Yes, he
money on
did.
any game, so it didn't really matter. But
Scared money ain't taking money,
that's
sir.
true.
Tell you that.
That's very true. That's very true. All right, B. So I'm gonna hand over to you. So what we got, man?
All right. So I guess I'll lead us off tonight with my first
Let's
pick,
do it.
and that is going to be Tampa Bay -5. I mean, it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. I think that little Phil Jackson speech he gave to his offensive line may fire him up a little bit.
Phil Jackson.
Um, they're in a position here where the division's up for grabs. The whole NFC really is up for grabs here. So I like their matchup this weekend. They got the Carolina Panthers, who just had a dumpster fire sale, and we all know about it here. Um, I they're banged up in every category you could think of here. They don't have a quarterback. Baker Mayfield couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat right now, to be quite honest with you. And that's in the middle of the ocean. So I like Tampa Bay -5 on the road in Carolina. Give me that all day. It's a 1 o'clock start, so I like it. I'll take it.
All right. You just gonna steal one of Madden's old lines, huh? Remember that on the old Madden games? He couldn't hit the
Yep.
water if he fell off the boat. Used to love that. All right, well, my first pick is I'm gonna go with the very close game, which is gonna be at least in my opinion, the Chiefs and the Niners. Gonna be a great game and 125 start time playing in San Francisco, and I'm actually gonna take the under. I think this will be a little bit more of a. This is definitely gonna be a defensive struggle for the Chiefs. I think the 49ers defense is that good. I think they're going to put some pressure on your boy Mahomes, but I think Mahomes will do just enough to squeak out a win. Um, the Niners offensively, we'll see if McCaffrey gets in uniform in time for this game. I would assume he would be. and that definitely will add an extra dimension to their already formidable running game. But I really think it's going to be under 49. So that's my
Yeah,
that's my pick. What you got, B?
that's a good one right there. I like that one there. I'm gonna go with my second one, and that is Mr. Crippled Hands himself, Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami
Man,
Dolphins.
that's
The
messed up.
I know, I know. Well, the NFL brought it upon themselves, so I'm just
Oh
going with it.
man,
But I like the Dolphins minus 3.5 on at home Sunday night against the inconsistent Pittsburgh Steelers, which you don't know what you're going to get from
that's
them.
true.
So I like the Dolphins in this game. I think the losing streak kind of stops here. The inconsistency stops here. They'll get back on track. So I'll take the Dolphins minus 3.5 here.
Dolphins minus 3.5. All right, I am going with my dark horse team. That's right, I'm stealing them from you, B. The New York Giants, who are
Hey
a
man, have them.
who are a 3-point underdog against the Jaguars in Jacksonville this weekend. I'm gonna take them plus the points because we got to stop counting this team out. That's why I think the Giants are legit. I think their defense makes some noise. I think the quarterback play is getting a lot better. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously have some great young talent, but I'm backing the Giants on this, and I think there's an opportunity for them to win this game, not by a huge margin, but I think the Giants will squeak it out. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants plus the points.
Hey, they're 2-0 against the spread right now for over the last 2 weeks
Let's
here.
do it.
So it's a very good pick there. For my last one, I mean the NFL schedule really sucks this week, so it was kind of hard to even muster a game out of this. But I mean, I'm just taking a home team here because they're home, and it's hard to bet against the home team, especially against who they're playing. But I'm taking the Titans minus one over the Indianapolis Colts, so it's basically a win 'em game. Um, I don't have a reason why I'm taking the Titans. To be honest with you, I was just trying to find a game that was worth taking here, so I'm
uh,
gonna go with that.
so all right. Reached into the
I can't.
reached
I can't
into the
speak on the rest of
dumpster
it.
and grabbed a banana peel. That's got to do what you
I
got to do.
hope my hand doesn't get on fire after taking that dumpster
Hey,
fire
there you go.
pick. I'll just put it like that.
All right, so I'm coming in. I'm coming in with my pick, my last pick, which is the New York Jets are playing the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are a 1-point favorite in Mile High. I'm going to take the Jets to win this one. I'm taking the money line on that. And I don't know if I really need to explain on the fact that I don't believe in the Broncos. The only games they have won have been by slim margins and have been extremely ugly. The Jets, on the other hand, have been elevating slowly but surely. They've been getting better and better each week, and I think they'll continue to do so against Russell Westbrook. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Russell Wilson, the
Wow.
quarter and the Denver
Wow.
Broncos.
That's a good one. That was a good one. So you got two back-to-back picks where the teams have covered for the last 2 weeks here. So those aren't bad picks there. Um, I like them. I think out of your picks, I think the one that would scare me the most is the New York Giants.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
much as they're
yeah.
covering here, the Jags can come out of the woodworks and surprise some teams, especially at home here. But it's a hot team to bet on right now with the New York Giants. So why not, as they say in the gambling world, let it
Let it
ride.
ride. That's right. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So
Well, we're gonna transition to a couple of topics. Obviously, a couple of things have happened this past week from Monday till now. So the biggest thing though actually happened, was it last night? The
it was like 24. It was like
less
24
than
hours ago.
right,
Really?
exactly. McCaffrey was on the trade block not too long ago, and now he's got a new team. He will be joining the San Francisco 49ers backfield, and I gotta say, how did the rest of the league let this happen? And man, number two, I think this is a huge addition to the four. I mean, I don't even know if they might just have to direct snap to McCaffrey now. Do they even put Garoppolo in the game?
Because he could throw the ball too. Dude, this is such a big win for the Niners, and the fact that they're showing that they're all in, and this isn't a 1 year hey, we've got them for the rest of the year. They've got them for the next three
Wow,
years.
wow.
for the rest of this deal here. So the Niners absolutely put all their chips into the table to get
Win
McCaffrey. And in
now.
all honesty, this had to be the best situation for McCaffrey to go to. In an offense where it allows the playmakers to do their job, why wouldn't you not want to come here with an explosive offense that is already in the making here? This is going to take pressure off of any pressure on Jimmy G now gets simplified.
Right.
He just needs to get the ball into the hands, which he does. But I was telling people, Jimmy G doesn't have to throw a ball no more than 5 yards now. There's no need to throw the deep ball.
No.
You're going to see a lot of screens. You're going to see a lot of little West Coast offense. You're going to see a lot of the hurry up offense taking place as well. So, when you game plan for the Niners, think about what you have to game plan for now.
Yeah.
Devo, McCaffrey, Kittle. Three guys who can make who what they call it yak.
Yeah.
Yak after the
Yeah.
catch.
Oh man. Hey, so I mean, in my opinion, I think this makes them even more formidable out of the backfield because he's a guy who can get in between the tackles and make plays as well. And he's a consistent back that they can go to time and time again, and really allow some of their other guys to do different things like Debo Samuel. Who can, obviously he can catch out the backfield and he can even pick up a few carries out the backfield. But now McCaffrey will take the heavy lifting, and he can go back to being a little bit more of a screen guy, a little bit more of of a wide receiver. So I think it helps open up their offense, even though I know they're not throwing the ball more than 5 yards, but they don't need to. And yeah, man, I it's gonna make them very difficult to beat in circumstances where the circumstance that they're in, which is they have a great defense and they do a great job of playing field position and beating you up in between the tackles and marching down the field little by little and getting into the end zone. So I think they're really going to punish teams even more so than what they've been doing before, with the
Oh,
consistent back who can get in between the tackles and get upfield. So it's going to be difficult to, most teams are looking, the whole NFL is built around the idea of the quarterback and throwing passes, but when it comes to this team, it's going to be all about the running game. And if you're unable to stop a running game in the NFL, it's going to be a long day. So,
well, and they're getting Trent Williams back. It looks like he's getting ready
O
to come
line,
back from
yep.
injury. And then the defense is coming back to full strength as well. They were a little banged up to say the least last week here, and I think that contributes to their loss to Atlanta. But this healthy team has zero excuses to go out there and just punish every single team that they play. I think you may not see them at full strength this week because there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn with Shanahan's playbook,
Yeah.
but it doesn't take much to learn a screen. Imagine Trent Williams running down that field with Christian McCaffrey right behind him.
Yes. You won't even be able to see Christian McCaffrey. Where'd he go? He'd pop out and run for another 30, 40
But
yards.
let's let's talk about Christian McCaffrey's value real quick. Now, granted, he's missed 20 games over the last 2 seasons here due to an injury, but you have to go back and take a look at what he did in college because he still did it in the NFL this year, since he's been in the league. Um, but his value for what the Niners got for him wasn't really expensive for the Niners. When you look at it, it was some second round picks, so a third round pick, a fourth round pick, and down the road a fifth round pick. So, how do you view that for a guy of this talent and this caliber, for the Carolina not even to get a first round draft pick out of this?
Well, I mean, we talked about it before the show, and I was like, I really, I'm more of an NBA guy sometimes, and so I'm used to seeing trades for players. Picks are definitely important, but in a basketball situation where there's a limited amount of roster spots, players are king. That's what you need. But in the NFL, man, we saw Baker Mayfield get traded for one fifth round pick. And now we're seeing McCaffrey go for a second, third, and was a second, third, and a fourth, or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
it really is. I guess it's because these teams are in a position to where they don't need impact players, and they're giving them away. But I really have to really look at the Panthers and wonder why would you give up the best player on your team, even if you're in a rebuild, and not get a first, at least a first round draft pick back? I mean,
Yep. I
that
would
part
have.
I don't get. That seems really strange to me.
And even him going to the Niners, you're probably still going to get a high first round draft pick, but at least you're going to
Yep.
have multiple first round draft picks in that year. Now, granted, the Niners don't have two first round draft picks over the next 2 years because um they spent it on who? Um, that's your son right there. Um, the Niners spent it on Trey Lance, so they didn't have two first round picks to give up, but they still have them for down the road. So the fact that the Panthers didn't want anything to do with a first round pick, I mean, NFL players' stock is not that high anymore. It really isn't, and so it's interesting that Carolina wanted to part ways the way they did with that. If you're rebuilding, I get it. I think the second through the fifth round are where a lot of the draft picks go, where you see a lot of the talent.
Yeah.
But a first round pick, it gives you leverage with a lot of things on trying to get other players to come play for Carolina.
Absolutely.
So I think they lost an opportunity to have leverage with a first round draft pick. But I mean, when this news first broke out, I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, the Niners have to obviously really go after this guy
Yeah.
because of how he fits in that offense. But then I was shocked with the two other teams that were involved, and that was Denver and the Los Angeles Rams, because his dad has ties to
To Denver,
Denver,
exactly.
and and his family lives in Denver as well. So I was like, ooh, that may Denver may be able to pull this one off. And all of a sudden, last night, breaking news: the 49ers trade for Christian McCaffrey. I wanted to throw my phone out the car, man. I was so sick to my stomach with that,
Well,
dude.
the Niners were
And
aggressive, and that's different from what we saw in the offseason, to be honest. I
yeah,
mean, there was the whole fear about Devo Samuels leaving, and they kind of dragged their feet a little bit on that, although it worked out in the end. There was the Garoppolo situation where, there was some opportunity. There may have been some opportunities to get another quarterback in place of Garoppolo, but they kind of weren't too aggressive with that, and they kind of just seemed like they were staying pat. So this is interesting because it really is a little bit different. It's no, we're not staying pat. We're gonna shake up the team and try to add some value to it. So I guess kudos to them for making that adjustment. I mean, they are in a position where they're right there in the NFC West and can definitely win that division if they did what they just did. Honestly, get a guy like McCaffrey on your squad, help shore up the offense a little bit more, so you can take the ball out of Garoppolo's hands a little bit more, and
let
add a
me
threat, add one more threat.
let me ask you this, T. If Trey Lance doesn't go down, does this and if this trade still stood on the table, do the Niners go after it?
Um, I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
Just based on what we saw from Trey Lance, he was still learning, and he wasn't having the most consistent play. So I think they still would have been definitely looking to make a play like this just to, again, add another offensive threat to their arsenal because, the kid needed a few games under him in order for him to become the player that could at least get them into the playoffs. And
yeah.
we didn't really see we didn't get to see a lot of them, so we didn't get to see that spark. I know a lot of people talked about it in the preseason games, but we didn't really get to see a lot of it in the regular season. So, yeah, I think they still would have made. I think they still would have did it. I think they still would have made a play like this.
Yeah, that's a good point to make there. And maybe next year you're seeing a change in the guard, but if the Niners win the Super Bowl, as with number 10 in behind center, are you really ready to hand the reins over
I
when you
don't
have a
know,
team like
man.
that with an experienced
That's
quarterback?
going to be a really difficult problem to.
Yeah,
It's a good problem to have though. If you end up, even if they make it to the Super Bowl and don't win, I still think that's successful for them. I mean, they haven't been
yeah.
they made it once, didn't quite get over the hump. They lost to a pretty good Kansas City Chiefs team, and I think if this team can get back there with Garoppolo, then kudos to them. Then from there on, then I mean, I would say in the offseason, the 49ers become even hungrier. They might even get more aggressive with the quarterback and say, is Trey Lance the guy? Is this guy the guy? Or is there another big name that we could have went out there and got and dropped into this role, not named Russell Westbrook, Russell Wilson,
There you
and
go again. Call me
and
Russell Westbrook again.
Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I think the Niners will. They're gonna have a good season for sure. I don't know if they'll make it to the Super Bowl, but it's gonna be a good season. It's gonna be another tough off season where they have to figure out if they want to trade Garoppolo or if they're gonna, excuse me, I guess at that point let Garoppolo go or and make Trey Lance the for sure bet.
Yep, absolutely. That's going to be a pretty big discussion for them to try to figure out there. But let's transition because enough of the Niners. We're good with them. The NBA, we finally got it back. It's been great. Let's talk about your team real quick. We'll talk about my team in a little bit because
Well,
there's
we
not
only
much to
played
talk
each
about.
other, so
Well, we did play each other, but let's talk about last night's game here. Let's talk about the just. I know you've said it. There was a lack of shooting, but man, has it been on display for the last two games? They have missed. They have taken 83 3-pointers in two games. The Warriors aren't even at that level, and they have shooters, to say the least. There. So T,
boy.
this is your floor here. After
Well,
two games of watching over 83 3-pointers and about 11 of them going in, what is your input
well,
on this team so far?
I already said it before when we started, talking about the NBA before the season started. I said it was going to be a long season, that we're not going to be any good, and they can't shoot. It's real simple, guys. In the game of basketball, you got to put that round ball through that hoop. If you can't put that round ball through that hoop, well, guess what? You're not going to win. And that's what the Lakers are
Yeah.
doing right now. They can't hit anything. I was joking talking to you before the show. They have more open corners than a pool table because there was a guy open in the corner on every single half court possession, and that guy proceeded to clank that bad boy off the side iron. It was atrocious. They take so many threes and they have no 3-point shooters. It makes no sense. They're wasting
None.
LeBron's entire year right now. This entire year is a wrap. I'm sorry. I know it's early, but they played so well defensively against the Clippers. They got out and ran, and then they got into the fourth quarter down 2 points the last 2 minutes, and they could not hit a single shot. They could not hit a single shot. Russell Westbrook went 0 for 11. Not for a quarter, folks. Not for a half. The entire game. I mean,
He had,
Patrick
it's
Patrick Beverly was 1 for whatever. I mean, our guards only made 3 shots the entire game. I don't know what the hell kind of NBA team you watch. Even if your favorite team is Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm pretty sure no one's going 0 for 11 anytime soon. Do you know why? Because by the time they got to 0 for 5, they stopped shooting. That's why. But no, not our team. It's not. It's almost like they told the Lakers that they don't have a good shooting team, so we just decide we're just gonna shoot threes all the time now. Like we were like, I mean, seriously, it's not the strong point of your team. Don't shoot. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's awful. They're trying to they don't have the pieces to make it happen. They can't shoot. And I've been talking about this ad nauseum. I feel like, and to even have to continue to talk about it, it's terrible for me as a Lakers fan. But the bottom line is, a LeBron team has to have guys that can play defense and shoot threes. And
zero of
we're
that
starting to play
taking
defense, but we can't shoot. Russell can't shoot. Patrick Beverly can make a shot here and there, and our
Yeah,
bench, our
I
nobody
don't. You take that back
here
right now.
here
He
and
ain't
there,
making
here and there.
zero. I wouldn't even say there. I
Nobody.
wouldn't even say here.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got. I mean, he comes brings the hustle. I got to give him something. But I think and nobody knows any of the people coming off our bench, so don't even bother asking. Um, and they got Anthony Davis lined up taking threes. LeBron's out there trying to take threes. Everybody's shooting threes, and the only thing I can think in my head is like, so, am I the only one that knows that y'all can't shoot? Braun said it after the first press conference. We're not built to do that. Well, then why are you taking 100 threes in 2 games then? It doesn't make any sense. So whatever Darvin Ham, the Lakers coach, is trying to do, it does not jive with the players that he has on the floor. He needs to find a new game plan. It ain't working, and the Lakers will be playing the Portland Trailblazers this weekend. If they lose to the Trailblazers and go 0-3, I guarantee you this is a team
A lot of talk.
after 20 games. We might not even make it to 20 games. After 20 games, will be 500 or less, and they will have no choice but to give up those 2 first round draft picks to make a trade just to save face. And to me, that's where it's heading. So I don't
Let
even
me
know
put
what
this into
this. These
perspective for you
guys are
real quick. Okay,
terrible.
the, the Lakers are averaging per game right now, and I know it's only 2 games, but let's. I'm gonna really put this out there. There's a team in the league that is averaging 35.6 3 points, 3 point shots a game. The Lakers are averaging 42 and a half attempts a game.
Oh my god.
Can you guess who the other team is who has less of an amount?
Your team, duh.
The Golden
Yeah,
State
yeah.
Warriors are averaging 35.6 3 points a game. And that's just attempts. Who in their right mind? I mean, you got a guy named Ryan who's who the NBA or the commentators were like, that's what he came to the Lakers for, was to hit
Yeah,
open
Matt.
three
Yeah,
pointers.
we've never
Or
heard of him. Who is Matt Ryan? I thought it was a quarterback. Remember Matt Ryan? Who's he playing with now? The Colts.
the
What the
Colts,
hell's
yeah.
Matt Ryan doing out here? Damn, have the Lakers 3 point shooting gone that bad that we've you fucking signed a
Asking
NFL
the NFL
quarterback?
to start throwing them into the hoop.
And to top it off, if you look at our stats, the third best player per point on points on the team is Lonnie Walker. Does anybody other than me know who Lonnie Walker is and who he played with last year?
I bet you if you ask
Uh,
Charles Barkley who he played for, he would get it
He'd
wrong.
be like, terrible.
It's
Ain't that the boy that sold me them Krispy Kreme donuts last night?
this is
Oh,
bad.
man.
I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And watching opening night, what LeBron was doing, he was going after Wiseman. Now, granted, Wiseman's very inexperienced because he's now in the league
Right.
and he's going to get a full season under his belt. Dude, you're 7'2". No guy at LeBron's age or height should be going into your chest the way he was going after Wiseman. And LeBron looked like he had been doing this in his 20s right now, And so you really got to marvel at what he's doing. But at the same time, dude, that's just an atrocious basketball. And I showed you that video where the coach wrote on there, contest W/O
Without fouling.
fouling.
And they defended. They did great. The only problem is they couldn't make any shots.
So you mean to tell me in this new age of basketball, we're just writing words on the board instead of drawing out plays? I need to understand that. Like I really do
I
because it makes zero
mean, the
sense.
coach he
Zero
could have
sense.
said he could have just said that to the team. To be quite honest, he could have just told them that. Probably would have took up less of his time. He took the time to scribble that mess down. He could have just said it out loud. Oh
He
man.
looked like a contestant on Jeopardy who raised the board like this for their final answer for Final Jeopardy. Contest without fouling. What is contest without fouling? Well,
Yeah.
it's called
Yeah.
defense to say the least. There.
What
So
is 0 for 11 and cost $47 million?
he had more assists than
Russell
he had
Westbrook.
points, and he had 4 or 5 assists.
Oh my god, man. I mean, I've been saying this all offseason, man, is that they had to trade him and get something in return. They had to get wing players and shooters, and they did neither one. They got more guards and less shooters, and here we are getting our asses kicked by everybody. I mean, Kawhi Leonard was out there looking like he was on the verge of a fart every 5 seconds. Like he wasn't playing that great. He wasn't playing that great. You know, I mean, what did they have him on a minutes restriction? They only played like 20 minutes because they're still doing the what's that crap called? Load management with him.
Yeah.
And you know, the Clippers didn't look that great. Like we came out there and gave a good effort, and we just got ourselves back into the game, gave ourselves an opportunity to win on defense, but then we got on the offensive side of the ball. We threw that baby in the ocean. We threw that baby in the ocean.
You know what the best part is watching teams get offensive rebounds. And I'm going to use your team as an example because I watched a little bit of that Clipper-Laker game. But just watch them get offensive rebounds. And instead of going to the hoop, they're taking another open wide three, knowing that there's no shooters on this court. And the fact that you've got guys missing open threes being that wide open, why is anyone in the league going to defend a three-point
They're
shooter
not.
for the Lakers?
They're not.
They're
They're
not.
not.
By all means.
That's a part of why they're taking so many damn threes is because they're wide open. They just don't because you can't shoot. Nobody's guarding you.
Oh my God, dude. Good luck. Good luck watching.
There's no luck, man. It's not. They brought back the same crappy team as last year, except with less shooters. I mean, what do we want? What do you want me to say? They're gonna be trash, man. They're gonna be garbage. I promise you, man. When I saw Anthony Davis fall on his back, I was like, okay, well, guess that's the end of the season.
Oh my God, I thought the season was
it's over. I knew it was gonna be over anyway, but why not end it early? F it, whatever.
We've seen him get hurt off of worse injuries or little less injuries than that call it a season, and this dude fell like a pretzel and got up like it was.
I give him credit.
Hey man, you sit there just rubbing your stomach for good luck.
Yeah, right? I was, man. You saw that? You can see that. oh, that's because you're on the other camera.
I got you.
Hey man, look, I had a big ass dinner, man. I'm nursing a full stomach right now. I had my son bring me water. Mouth is all dry, man. Hey, look, I'm doing the best I can, people. All right, look, I gotta eat. I gotta eat.
Hey man,
and we went out to a ramen place. My kid, my son really likes ramen. So we went out there and got something to eat. I had some garlic noodles, delicious, tasty.
Did you get extra noodles?
Well, they make the garlic noodles where they're almost like they're fried. They like kind of crispy a little bit. It's hella good.
That's how they're supposed to
be.
Be.
Yeah, well, there you go. Like that. Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, I didn't know, but it's good. So yeah, we had a good time.
Sir. Good. Well, let's talk about my team just for a little bit here.
Yeah.
And not much to talk about. They did what they were supposed to do opening night. That was beat your team. It got a little close at the end, but the Warriors probably just were like, we need TV ratings.
Yeah,
we got to pay for this opening night ceremony somehow, some way.
Yeah, exactly. just crowd the paint, guys. Don't just crowd the paint and leave all the 3-point shooters open. We won't hurt you. We promise.
Like I told you on this past Sunday when we did our preview, this lineup, bench, the starting lineup, and all the pieces you could put together is going to be disgusting to go with. And I don't expect JaMychal Green and the Da Vinci Code to get going right away because they're going to have to learn the offense right away. But that's two players out of that entire roster that just need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a returning player.
Moody, Kuminga, Wiseman.
They all know this offense. So he ain't playing. He's there to coach on the bench. He's there to coach.
Hey, young man.
Like, at least he's putting more work than Udonis has on this, to say the least.
That's what he's gonna turn into. Watch, you're gonna be the Warriors, Udonis Haslam, getting in fights with Jimmy Butler.
Nah, that's not Andre. But I mean, to speak truth, this team is I think like you said, is the favorites to win the championship because of what they're bringing to this table here. And if this bench unit, their young stars can grow, man,
Yeah,
Curry and them may not have to play a whole lot of minutes during the regular season
yeah, nah,
because they could pass that extra workload to these young guys and save. So that's gonna prolong these guys' careers a little longer because again, they just got done off a championship. They just got done going to Japan. That took some time off of them. If these guys get going at the right time, man, just it's going to be disgusting the way they play and get up and down the court there. So
yeah,
there will be the first 3 weeks. I think will be the biggest growth for them um, on learning the offense as a unit. But once this unit gets settled in, watch out. It's gonna get real fun to watch, and especially when Jordan Poole pulled that little two step
yeah.
on LeBron on
Behind the
opening
back.
night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it.
don't don't
Yeah.
don't be mad right
I
now.
completely agree with you. It's one of the reasons I picked the Warriors to come out of the West is that very situation you just described, which is you're not going to ask Steph Curry to be MVP this year. He doesn't have to be. You're going to ask guys like Kaminga, Moody, Wiseman, and Jordan Poole to carry your second unit, and even sometimes lengthen the gap in points over the opponent. So I wholeheartedly believe that is going to keep them healthy and keep them spry and keep them moving. We saw a very tired looking Chris Paul not too long ago, although they did come through and beat the who they beat? They beat the Mavericks, my underdog team. Who I don't know
Yeah,
why the Mavericks
yeah.
lost that game. They had that game in hand and gave it away, but they did a they Chris Paul looked really old, and he didn't even play. I don't think most of the rest of that game. I believe that was the Damian Lee game, was it not?
That was the
Yes,
Damian Lee show right
Damian Lee
there.
comes out of the sky and just starts dropping turnaround jumpers and threes and steals, and the guy went nuts. He went crazy.
I mean, we talked about it a little bit. He realizes that Curry ain't saving his ass no
Yeah, he's
more,
not.
and the
Yeah,
only way he can stay inside the Curry family is he plays NBA
that's
basketball.
right. That's right.
So for him to hit, he hits the game winner against the Mavs. He's got a crucial defensive stop at the end against Luca, and it was a contested three. He stuck with Luca on that step
Yeah.
back. Um, but that just shows me one thing: why isn't Devin Booker got the ball in his hand in this
I
final
don't know,
possession here?
man.
You know
That
what I'm
was kind
saying?
of a weird. It was
Like,
kind of a scrambled play
interesting.
at the end there, where it was a last second shot. He really wasn't supposed to make that, but he did. And
Yeah.
kudos to him, man. He helped save their team because they had not looked that great all that game, and the Mavs were pretty much dominant most of the game. I'm a little disappointed in Dallas. They're my dark horse. They're supposed to be better than that. I don't even like the Suns. But I expect the Suns to be good, but I don't expect them to be at the top because I just don't. I don't believe in that team, man. I just don't. I don't like the. I don't like them. I don't like them. So they've already been to the mountaintop. They lost. They tried to come back and lost the first round.
Second round.
Second
Second
round. I'm
round.
sorry.
Yeah.
CP3. He's getting older. I don't see it. I don't see it. So
All right. Well, let's go around the association here. What is a game that stood out to you this week that
basketball.
caught your eye?
Oh well, it
Basketball.
had to have been the Pelicans and how great they looked. Now they were beating up on a Nets team that
God, you took the words right out of my
have
mouth.
have some have some talent, we'll call it. But the Jazz, excuse me, the Pelicans beat they beat the brakes off of them. Zion looked pretty good. He didn't have to do a lot. He wasn't trying to do a lot, which is good. I think when he first
Yep.
came in the league, he was out there with trying to shoot threes and all this extra. All he had to do now is roll to the basket, get rebounds, offensive rebounds, and putbacks. And that's going to be his job on this team because he's got Brandon Ingram, he's got CJ McCollum. You don't need to do all that. Those guys take care of the perimeter for you, and they have some other good perimeter shooters. I can't think of the guys' names right now, but they look like a nice, well-rounded team, and they won again today against the Hornets. But the
Yeah.
Pelicans have been putting up points in bunches. They like a cohesive unit. and I think they're going to make some noise, and we'll see them in the bottom half, at the upper bottom half or middle of the Western Conference this year.
Yeah, I think the addition of CJ McCollum for this year for them is going to is really going to help because they finally have a true point guard
Hmm.
in that aspect there, and it's I think McCollum for him to shine and not be under because he was living under Damian Lillard's shadow while he was in
Right.
Portland. So for him to get this opportunity and to hopefully thrive with this young talent, he's the most experienced guy on that court out of all them. Who's been
Yeah.
in playoff games, who's been in big time games. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to benefit the Pelicans going forward. So that's a good pick as far as dark horse. Um, I'm shocked that the Jazz are even 2-0 right now. Let's just be
Yeah, I
brutally honest
mean,
about that.
first off,
Let's just be
first
honest
off, first
about
off,
that.
B, I want to point something out. What the hell are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they winning games? They
Dude,
just gave away half their team. Okay, I don't know why Mike Conley's still there, but they gave away half their team. They should be tanking so that they could get the 7 foot Windabuda, whatever his name is.
I know who you're
He's
talking
gonna be the
about.
top pick in the draft. Danny Ainge
Yep.
did all this work to get rid of all of his assets to get more draft capital, and then they're gonna start winning games. I'd be like, hey man, y'all need to stop that right now. We're trying to get as
Well,
many
and
ping pong balls as possible.
let's talk about the two teams they've beaten. They've beaten the Nuggets. I mean, now the Nuggets are still getting their feet under them because they've got their two star players back, so they're on restricted minutes. But still, that's the reigning MVP on that team right there, and you guys beat them.
Yeah,
And then they beat the Timberwolves, who had all this unwanted hype behind them with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, who I like as a basketball player. I like his game a lot, but they went out and handled these two. And Jordan Clarkson was the leading scorer tonight with almost 30 points at 29.
hey man, I think what Danny Ainge is doing is Danny Ainge is like, yeah, keep doing it, young man, because I'm about to trade your ass before the deadline. Because I ultimately I
Yep.
think that's what's going to end up happening. There's no way in the world that Danny Ainge does not get more draft picks for these guys like Conley and Clarkson, because that's what makes the most sense for him. He's going to take the same approach he did with the Celtics whenever they weeded out all the old big three and sold them off to Boston, or excuse me, sold them off to Brooklyn, to the Nets,
Yep.
and got back all a crap ton of draft picks, which led to the championship level team we're seeing now. All those picks led to Tatum, Brown, and Smart,
Smart.
and so that's exactly what he'll be looking to do with the Jazz as well. So I think it's good. I think it's great that they're winning games, but everybody over there is auditioning for their next team. That's what's going on. That's what that
They don't keep
is.
messing around. They gonna keep messing around. They gonna end up with no ping pong balls
No,
in
no.
that
Danny
pick.
Angel trade him before that happened. They'd be like, wait a minute, 10-2? No, hell no. Trade
Nope.
him, trade him, trade him. We need to lose 30
Adams,
games. Stat.
watch. Adam Silver's gonna revoke that because he came out and said clearly no team will tank for the number one draft pick for this 7'4"
Now
wonder.
you know he can't stop
Supposedly,
that from happening. All you got to do is
but
put the worst possible team you can on the court. That's all you got to do. You don't have to.
the Detroit Pistons.
And there you go, the Detroit. Yeah, but Detroit Pistons. You know what's funny about the Pistons? They've been bad for so long. When was the last time they had the number one overall pick?
Dude, you can't be any worse than that team. This team might get a number one
Darko
draft pick outside of
Milicic.
Cade. No, they got Cade Cunningham. Cade
K
Cunningham was
cut.
the first
That's
overall
right. You're
pick.
right. K cut. Yeah, I guess
They
you're
got
right.
him.
You're right.
That was last
You're
year.
right. They did. They did.
But it's been a while since they've had a number one pick to say the least. There, so that just shows you one thing. You just got to be the Orlando Magic and have a little Penny Hardaway and Shaq moment where you could get two number one picks like that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're off and running. You're off and running. Oh man.
So, but that's a good. I think that's a good way to end it here. What you got planned for this weekend outside of us getting back together on
Oh
Sunday?
man. I'm gonna try to find some time. See if I can maybe try to catch Black Adam. Take my son to go see it. See if see what my wife wants to go or not. But probably take my son. As we mentioned earlier, anytime ex slaves start coming back with superpowers and destroying things and breaking things and stuff like that, I'm all for that.
Mm.
Just like Django, it's all gravy. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to do that. Mainly just crap around the house, man. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna be watching the games. I'm gonna be watching the next Laker game. If they lose to Portland, then I might stop watching them altogether. As a very disgruntled LA fan, I may get on the phone with Jeannie Buss, and just say, "Hey, Jeannie, this isn't working out. We need to fire everybody." Uh,
G- Genie Bus looks like, oh yeah, new season. Oh, same result.
exactly. I mean, it's just anyway. But enough about the Lakers. Yeah, man. So that's all I got. Get up and watch some football on Sunday, and
Yep.
that's about it, man. Before I get back into uh, the terrors of the work week.
Well, and just before we sign off, there's an update on the Warrior game. They are making their third quarter run, outscoring Denver in the third 27-16, to only trail by six now. Or no, my math is wrong. Seven. They're down seven to the Denver Nuggets here. So your typical Warrior third quarter flurry is taking place right now. Um, so I'm gonna get back to hopefully watching a good game here on our hands, and um, you know, just got a lot of NBA to go around with. Let's just put it like
Oh
that. But
yeah,
at the same time, like I said, 20 games into the season, you'll know what kind of team you have.
that's right. And for all my Lakers fans, trade them, trade them, trade them. Don't even matter who him is, just trade him. Oh man.
Yep.
All right,
If he's on the practice team,
trade
trade
him,
him.
please. Just trade everybody. I don't care. I don't care no more. Trade everybody. AD. I don't give a damn. Just trade everybody. Hell, I'd rather watch the young kids compete than what I'm watching right now with these people. Just it just looks terrible. Anyway,
It
enough.
only took you two games to think like that. Let's just
I
put it
said
like
that.
that.
I said that before the season started.
No, you did,
I
you
said it before the
did.
season
But
started.
now that it's unfolding, it's
It looks
just
as bad as I thought. Yeah.
exactly.
All right.
So, all right, y'all. Well, if you like what you saw, click the subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications because we're back at this Sunday night at 6:30, talking more NFL, NBA, and maybe some baseball. It's not really picking up any speed for two conference champions or two conference series on the line, and no one wants to talk about it. So typical.
All
Good
right.
job, baseball. Way to market. Way to market your playoffs, baseball. Good job.
All right, B.
All
All
right, man.
right.
Well, you have yourself a good night. Give the best to your family, and I'll see you on Sunday, my brother.
Absolutely late.